Alright, so if you guys remember me playing this back then, I didn't have the audio for the game playing. You could just hear everything else. So that's why I'm doing, it's basically a Redux, because this is the Redux version of that game. I guess I'll read. It was a cold New England morning when I received the letter. It was from Annabelle Jackson, Tommy's widow. I served with Tommy during the war, and he was a heck of a guy. By the end, I even considered him a friend. Tommy had written home about me before he died, and now his widow Annabelle needed my help. She had family living at a place called Manor, Wensire Manor, located on a small island off the coast of Brunswick, Maine. They used to be in frequent contact, but over the past few months their letters had become unusual and infrequent, and lately stopped completely. Something about it seemed off, but the letter included a check to offer to cover the bill, and I didn't have any other work at the time. My ex-wife had been complaining about alimony for weeks, so it wasn't the time to be turning up my nose at paid work. I slipped on my coat and turned up the collar to the cold. A few hours and a short boat ride out there to make sure everything is fine, back for supper. So I thought. You know how to play. I stand before a decorative wrought iron gate set into a large fence in the east. The fence is topped with an uninviting sharp ironwork. The street proceeds to the south and to the north, where there is an ornamental letterbox. Let's look at the gate. The gate is very ornate. The rivet is locked. Open gate. The gate swings open. Walk north. Here is an ornamental letterbox. Judging by the bulging circulars and flyers, it hasn't been checked in some time. To the south is the main gate to the estate. There is no point going any other direction. Open letterbox. I open the letterbox and look inside. An official-looking letter sits among the junk in the letterbox. It carries the seal of the Barnett College Archaeology Department. Take letter. Okay. Open letter. Okay. Read letter. Dear Mr. Wensire, thank you for your letter and the accompanying photographs of your excavations. I am sorry to inform you that the ruins that you have discovered are fairly typical of the area and date back some several hundred years. While we will send a team to recover what you have discovered in the interest of historical preservation, there is nothing extraordinary that against the photographs. Certainly nothing that relates to the folklore that surrounds your estate. Yours faithfully, Professor Ashdale. Let's look. Oh no, okay. Walk south. Walk east. The long driveway stretches from the gate to the manor. Dead plants line either side of the driveway and cast their shadows across my path in the dimming evening light. Although most of the plants have lost their leaves completely, there is one with a few dead leaves remaining that catches my eye. Look at dead plant. This plant is dead, but more recently so than its neighbors. Around the roots, I noticed that someone has attempted to prevent its decline by placing fertilizer. It didn't help. Key sits next to the roots of the plant as though someone has dropped it while tending to the plant. Take key. Okay. Walk east. I arrive at the entrance to the manor. Wensire Manor has stood for over 100 years, and this sturdy oaken door could probably stand for 100 more. Have a set in foreboding Gothic metalwork embellishes the hinges and handle. To the north runs a well-worn cobblestone path that is difficult to make out, but to the south is a dirt path winding away from the manor. Look at oak door. Door is as beautifully decorative as it is locked. Push oak door. It's locked. I'm an idiot. Look. Oh. Walk. North. Dead trees line this path as it leads away from the entrance to the manor and along the northern wall of the house. What must have been a spectacular path is now just a bleak reminder of whatever pestilence that is afflicting this place. This hedge maze must have delighted guests to the manor during happier times. Now it is a dark and foreboding place where the hedge pushes inwards, giving a constant feeling of suffocation. After following the winding pathways in the maze, I come to a junction. All directions look the same here, and it is impossible to tell which way I came from. I'm probably gonna die. Okay. Walk south and walk east. What was once a thriving kitchen garden is now dying and overgrown with strange, uninviting weeds. Thistles and thorns make the idea of searching for the bulk of the garden impractical. There is a door to the manor to the south, and to the east is the garage. I can see a large forest looming in the distance to the north. Heavy bag of fertilizer sits against one side of the garden. Take fertilizer. Walk east. I'm outside the garage. The door to the garage lies to the east and is open. I can see that the family automobile is still inside. To the west is the overgrown garden. Walk east. Inside the garage is the family automobile. It is in good condition apart from the fact that someone has opened the bonnet and smashed at the engine inside with some heavy, blunt instrument. Along the wall of the garage is shelving full of miscellaneous items such as car parts, empty gas canisters, rags, and the like. On the shelving is sitting an oil can that is full of oil. On the bottom shelf is a toolbox. Take oil can. Open toolbox. Okay. Look at toolbox. There's a small padlock key in the top tray of the toolbox. Take padlock key. Let's see where I walk west. Walk west. South. Okay. West. Oh yeah. Wait, padlock key. Will that work? Oh yeah. Padlock key. Only will work for a padlock, duh. Path winds from the manor to the south and then slopes away to the east. A small ramshackle shack is located just south of the bend. Walk south. A small shack has been erected here, south of the winding path. The shack is dirty and unpainted with filth covering the windows. It looks like someone could live here, but certainly not comfortably. A pair of boots next to the door to the ramshackle shack. Perhaps someone is home? Take boots. Open shack door. Use inventory. Padlock key. Shack door. Of course. Why do I do this to myself? Walk south. You walk north. Walk east. A small lake sits eerily next to one of the walls of the manor. To the north, beyond the lake, is a window through which I could gain entry to the house. For some reason, the lake fills me with a sense of deep dread, as though something is watching me from just beneath the surface, waiting to pounce. It is a still evening, but I could have sworn I noticed a ripple a minute ago. To go north, I would need to pass very close to the lake, which may be unwise unless I take some precautions. The path also winds to the east and begins to climb a slight hill. Next to the shore of the lake is an old boat. To the south, I can make out a large barn. Go east. I reach the top of the hill. The grass here is green and rustles against my feet. Whatever pestilence has taken hold at the manor has yet to find its way up this far. At the topmost point of the hill sits a solitary tombstone, looks as though it has been here for several years. The view over the estate from here would be majestic if not for the fact that most of the vegetation below has died. The manor itself is dark and unwelcoming. Look at tombstone. Plain tombstone sits here. It looks as though, at least up until recently, someone had been coming here regularly to tidy this area. North. Set against the west side of the manor is the door to the cellar. The rickety old doors are not locked and look so old and worn they probably couldn't be locked even if someone wanted to. Okay, can't open anything. Lock. Down. Cellar is dank and musty. Puddles of water have formed on the floor, especially around the entrance where the rain is not adequately kept at bay. Cellar has several racks installed against the walls, occupying about half of the available space. It's a moderately respectable collection of wines. Leaning against one of the racks is a small shovel. Take shovel. Walk west, walk up, walk south, west. South, a large barn. I can stand outside an old red barn. A foul odor comes from within, and I can hear a faint buzzing sound. Barn doors have been chained shut, and a padlock prevents them from being opened. Use this frickin' padlock key on these doors. Slip the key into the padlock, and it turns cleanly, unlocking the padlock. Walk. Open. Okay, no, just walk south. The stench of death pollutes the air inside the barn. There are dozens of dead cats hanging from the rafters. The air is thick with flies. Whoever did this was truly disturbed. Hanging from the center rafter is the body of a boy in his late teens. It is hanging out of reach, suspended by a rope which is bound to a nearby post. The body is suspended by a rope tied to a nearby post. The knot is too tight to undo with the weight of the body on it. I will need to find a way to cut the rope. Hanging body. At this distance, it is impossible to get an exact cause of death. However, the large pool of blood under where he is hanging seems to suggest that it was violent. Need to read? No. Walk north. Hold on. Do I use a shovel to dig up his grave? Could be wrong. Okay. Figure done. No, I didn't want to do that. Wait, do I use the gardener's key here? Yeah. I forgot. The key unlocks the door. Walk south. The stench of death fills the gardener's shack. Against one wall is shelving with a wide range of dusty strange tools and other junk. Another wall has an old desk pushed against it, and opposite it is a small bed. In the bed is the corpse of the gardener. Sitting on the desk is a handwritten note. Sitting on the desk is a hammer. Take hammer. Look, shelves. Quickly search shelves. A box of matches is the only useful item on the shelves, unless I wanted to take up a career to landscaping, which, after what I've seen so far, is actually pretty tempting. Take matches. Read. Note. Jim. Lacey's been playing in the forest again. Please try to keep her from following you when you make your way to the excavation site. It is dangerous for someone of her age to be playing there. Keep trying to find the map she has been working on to navigate the forest, but still no luck. Bill. He looks as though he has been dead for a few days. His pallor is sickly green, and his skin is covered with open sores. There is no other indication of how he died, so I only assume that it was from this strange illness. His face is fixed with an expression of sheer terror. I wonder what he saw before he died. Something terrible, I'm guessing. Let's see, what do I have? Matches, hammer, shovel, boots, oil can, fertilizer. Walk north. West. I feel like there was something out here. Now, wait, south. This is an empty street, much like all the other empty streets I have seen before. A street light flickers above and casts off an eerie light. To the north is the main gate to the estate. To the west is a small, tidy house with a well-maintained front yard. There are no lights on the inside the house. Look at newspaper. Here's a copy of today's newspaper. Read newspaper. There's not much of interest. The back of the page is a story about a string of recent pet disappearances in the area. I'll explain the hanging cats. Walk west. Small quiet path leads from the street up to the front door. First I think that nobody's home because there are no lights on inside. Then I notice that the front door is ajar. Oh, look. Oh, walk The hallway shows signs of a struggle. Family pictures have been pulled from the wall and smashed on the ground. At one point it looks like someone has punched a hole in the wall. Sitting on the floor is a photograph that must have once hung on the wall. It shows a happy-looking couple who look like they are in their mid-50s. The man who made the soul must have been enormous. So the small lounge has seen better days. The television is smashed on the floor with other broken furniture scattered around. There is a large pool of what looks like blood near a door out to the garage. A small leather-bound journal is half concealed by the television. Okay, just read it. The first legible entry reads, I got a job today helping out Tom with his excavations. Mary says I'm too old for this sort of work, but it's interesting enough and I want the money so I can surprise her with a vacation. After that, only parts of the last entry remains. Jim, Bill, and me were the first into the chamber. The voices inside my head, I can feel myself changing. Nothing further. The door to the garage is locked. South. West. The dining room looks to be in good order. Any conflict must have happened in other parts of the house. A simple but cozy dining room table sits in the center of the room, surrounded by 4 chairs. On the dining room table is a small note carefully folded and weighed down by a flower vase. To whoever finds this, something terrible has happened. My husband, James. He spends more and more time at West Iron Manor. Ever since he started that job there, it's been like he's a different person. I'm going over there to make one last try to talk him into coming home and getting help. I'm leaving this note because I'm afraid something unnatural is happening at that place. God help us all, Mary. Man. Poor family. The bedroom looks like it was sacked by burglars. Furniture has been thrown about and clothing lies strewn across the floor. The only evidence that this wasn't a burglary is that a small gold watch is lying on the floor in plain sight. Take the watch. It's all... Wait. What? Wait. Use... There's a metal door. The metal door to the garage is locked. I'll have to see if there's anything for that. Okay. Don't have a map to look at, do I? No. I do have a map. Okay, this was never here. The original. The little side house. Okay. Use fertilizer. Where is it? On the lake. Pour the fertilizer carefully into the lake. After about a minute, there's a furious bubbling somewhere from underwater, followed by stillness. Whatever was in there is now dead. Freaking tentacle monster. That's what it was. An old boat with a large hole in the side sitting on the shore of the lake. It is too damaged to use. Tied to the underside of the boat is a length of rope. The other end with the anchor has been cut, almost as though something has gnawed through the rope while it was underwater. Take rope. Walk north. As I carefully edge past the lake, I try to hold my breath as the stench of the fertilizer and whatever else was inside the lake is sickening. I made it to the window and pull myself through it. I wonder to myself why it is open when the other entrances are locked, but I quickly dismissed that thought as I focused on the task at hand. I need to look around and try to work out what has happened here. Continue. Sorry about this. This Redux comes with ads. I am in the drawing room where guests would be entertained. There is a collection of comfortable chairs and paintings decorate the walls. In the corner is a small piano. Like a piano. Small piano, nothing special about it. Let's see, walk west. The Great Hall is a large dining table with 4 places laid out. Scraps of food sit rotting on plates which have not been cleared away. The stench is so overwhelming. Sitting on the table with a knife. Take the butter knife. Okay, I walked west. I walked north now. I stand in the entrance hallway to the manor. To the west is the front door, which is still locked. There are doors to the north and south, and the hallway continues to the east, ending at the master staircase. The hallway itself is well decorated and gives off a sense of opulence. The only thing that breaks the illusion that everything is fine is the large smear of blood on the floor tiles, starting in the middle of the hallway and trailing to the east. West is the front door. Yes. No, what? Push. Pull. How do I... Yes, there's an oak door. Walk west. It's weird. Okay. Doors to the north. What's north? The first thing I notice as I enter the kitchen is a huge pool of water that covers the majority of the kitchen floor between where I am standing and door to the freaking cat, sorry. Where I am standing and door to the east. The second thing that I notice is the toaster that is still plugged into the wall socket, yet is lying in the middle of the water. This could be a potentially dangerous situation. There's a door to the north and a door to the east, which would require crossing the pool of water. To the south is a door back to the entrance hallway. The door to my north is barred from the side but could be pulled open with some effort. Use boots. This cat. A puddle. It is now safe to cross the puddle thanks to the rubber boots. Quit walking around me, please. I'm trying to do something. I know you love me. You'll have to come back later. Door's barred. Pull. Barred door. Pull the wood out of place to free the door. Walk north. What was once... Okay. It's just this. Pull. Toaster. Take toaster. I need to pull it out. Okay, east. The butler's pantry contains all the miscellaneous food items, plates, bowls, mugs, and cutlery that the family would use on a daily basis. On a hook next to the door is an old lantern. It's probably from before electricity was installed. It looks as though it has been kept around in case of power blackouts. Take the anti-lantern. Back out. This is the bottom of the master staircase, which leads up to the first floor of the manor. A streak of blood runs from the entranceway to the west and up through the door to the north. I stand on the first floor landing. A grand staircase descends to the ground floor. While a long hallway extends to the east, there are also doors to the north and south. A long hallway stretches off the first floor landing. There are doors to the north and south. Along the length of the hallway are portraits of the Windsor family from past generations. As they reach the end of the hallway, the portraits become more recent until they finish with a family portrait of William, Abigail, Lacey, and Tom. Memories of a better time. At the end of the hallway, a cord hangs down from a trapdoor in the ceiling. Pull cord. Farm pulling the cord lowers the retractable stairs to the attic. The stairs to the attic have been extended. Walk up. The attic is relatively sparse, free from the clutter of household belongings put into storage, never to be used again. A small circular window at one end of the attic overlooks the driveway and front gate and allows shafts of light into the room. In the middle of the cellar, hanging from a crude noose attached to one of the exposed beams, is the body of a woman. The woman is in her 50s and wearing a wedding ring. I don't recognize her from any of the family portraits in the hallway below. There is an upturned chair nearby, which makes me think that her demise was self-inflicted. Inside the woman's pocket is a small key. That is the woman. Nope, I don't want to walk. That is the woman from the other house across the street. Husband is somewhere. Where am I? Okay. I am in what must have been Lacey's room. Dolls and other toys are scattered around the floor. A box of toys sits against the middle of one wall. A small bed, which has not been made, is pressed up against the other wall. And a bedside table has been placed next to it. A box of toys. A small box full of toys. There is nothing but toys inside. Small bedside table. On top are some crayons and coloring pencils. Small bed with a pink spread. Pink bedspread. Pull the small bed. Push the small bed. Open the small bed. South. Master bedroom is larger than the other bedrooms, and in the center of it is a four-post canopy bed. On the bed is William Wensire, or rather his body. It's hard to say when he died, as his body is a picture of corruption with flesh twisted and warped by some unknown force. On the bedside table next to William's body is a small piece of paper. To whoever finds this, if you find this, then it is too late for me. The idol twists and warps both body and mind. The longer spent around it, the greater its effects. I don't know why I did it, but I stabbed Abigail yesterday. I can feel my mind warp as quickly as I see my own body warp as every day passes. There's no time left for me now. I cannot stand yet alone and make the journey through the woods to the chamber. If you are reading this, you must return the idol to its resting place from where I took it on that dark day. Only then can the corruption be contained. If you don't, who knows how far it will spread. Take notice and partial evidence of what happened. The bathroom is filthy, covered in unidentified ooze. There is a spray of blood on the wall where it looks like someone has smashed the mirror with their bare hands. On the floor is a fragment of the broken mirror. Whoever did this just earned themselves some seriously bad luck. Cat again. Take it. Keys. The first floor balcony offers superb views over the southern half of the estate. I can see the corrupt lake that I passed in order to gain entry to the house. And in the distance I can see the gardener's shack. A guardrail prevents me from accidentally tumbling to my death. Metal guardrail to prevent people from strolling off the edge. On closer inspection, one of the metal rods looks loose. I pull off the loose metal rod. Sitting on the ground is the metal rod that I pulled off the guardrail. There I go again, making the world less safe, one guardrail at a time. Take metal rod. Let's see. Okay. North. The Grand Library is an example of a fine collection of a variety of topics of books. The north and west walls are covered with two bookshelves full of books. The air has a slight leathery smell to it, probably from the covers of some of the more obscure text. To the east is a small door, and to the south is the first floor landing. Walk east. Small room designed for reading. There is a comfortable chair here with a side table and a fireplace. Sitting on the side of the table is a book entitled Archaeology of Ancient Religion. Sitting on a shelf is a small decorative telescope. Closer inspection looks like this telescope should work. Take the telescope. This book is discussing various sects from the start of recorded history. There is a cryptic note in the margin of the currently bookmarked page saying, "Timeline is all wrong." Okay. Do I take the book? Door to the south locked. Okay. Anything? No. Okay. Okay, I can go north. trophy room contains a wide range of stuffed animals and other hunting trophies. There are 3 sitting chairs for socializing. A smear of blood runs from the door up to the nearest chair in which is sitting a body. There are no other exits from the room apart from the one I came through to the south. Stuffed falcon is among the animals. What is this guy's kind of falcon lover? It's the body of Abigail Winsire. She has been stabbed in the chest. I'm amazed she made it all the way from the entranceway to here, unless someone dragged her here. Lodged in the chest of the body on the chair is a large hunting knife. Take it. But can I take the falcon? Can't take the falcon, of course. Let's see. Okay. South, south, west, north. West, north. West, west, south, west, west. West, west, south, south, west, west. Use garage key on middle door. Key fits the garage door and unlocks it. Garage is empty. I'm not sure what has happened to the automobile. However, there is a workbench up against one side of the garage with a set of cabinets. Search cabinets for anything of use. Inside one cabinet is a small car battery. Take the battery. And a lot of this stuff I don't even know how to use.